Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to your readings today. This is a monthly relationship reading where we are actually looking at a key person for you, someone who is uppermost in your mind or in your heart. It could be a love interest. These are relationship readings, but for some of you it could also be platonic, or a friendship or a colleague. So, you know, if I am looking at love messages, you'll need to sort of disregard those if this is a different relationship. But we have 3 cards to choose from today, 3 readings, and we will be looking at what's kind of happening between you, the energy between you, what this person may be wanting to say, what you're wanting to say, and also looking at how it's evolving over the coming months. How is your love life, I guess, your relationships generally evolving over the coming month? So I would focus on the person that you are thinking of and see which of these readings, these piles is really resonating with you. So pile 1, we have Sisters of the Sacred Spiral. So this is the card number 27, if that number is relevant to some of you. And that is with the green aventurine wand, a little wand here. Okay, so that's pile 1. Pile 2, you have card number 16, if that number is relevant to you. Grandmother ensures safe crossing. So this is pile 2. And you have the rose quartz wand here. And then for pile 3, we have the Princess of Red Poppies. This is card number 11. The Princess of Red Poppies. And we have the amethyst point here, the amethyst wand. There. Okay, so beautiful souls. I will leave the video running for a few moments longer. And then we are going to dive into the readings, see what is happening with a key person for you, a key relationship, or more than one, perhaps, over the coming month. Beautiful souls, tons of love. I'll see you in the readings in just a moment. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So let us tune in to the person that is uppermost on your mind or in your heart, whatever this reading is for you, this relationship reading. We have Sisters of the Sacred Spiral, card number 27, and the beautiful green aventurine energy. This is a very, very gentle energy. I'm kind of seeing that maybe, I feel like something could go either way here. Really interesting energy here. Let's draw 2 cards. This is the way I'm doing these monthly relationship readings. We're going to draw 2 cards to represent the 2 people, yourself and the other person involved here, and that person who is uppermost for you at the moment. So person 1 is the card of the Village. Messages coming through already for you. I'm seeing this card for pile 2. Pile 2, the Stone. Okay, this could actually be a long distance connection. It could be that there's a move required in order to make this sort of happen, actually. And there's debate, this sort of feeling it could go either way. Will it move forwards or not? So let me tell you a little bit about the energy of the Village. So this is one person, this is another, and this will help you, I hope, to know whether this is the right reading for you. I think the stone is actually quite settled, quite fixed in their own circumstances, okay? And the village is someone who is, I think, ready and willing to move, I think, or to change. This person is ready to create changes, but it feels sort of risky. I think the stone is someone who is in I won't say exactly a fixed position, though for some of you that may be relevant, but the stone is in a position where their circumstances are actually either very settled. I mean, maybe there's family, children involved, but this person is very settled where they are. It could be that their work is actually very settled where they are. The village has the ability to move, but it feels like they're taking all the risk, you know, in this connection. So however this is for you, if it's a platonic connection, then you know that this is the kind of energy around these two people. It would feel like one person would be seriously stepping out of their comfort zone to connect with the stone, who really, for their own reasons, I don't feel they're inflexible, although there could be, but it's like their circumstances are inflexible. There's something around them that would make it very, very difficult for them to make as many compromises as the village may be making or may have to make. Let's get a little bit more energy here. We get a bit more energy for... No, that doesn't feel right. Get some more energy for the village, a little bit more information from the village. So water and energy for the stone, please. The circle. Okay, yeah, I think that there may be family circumstances around the stone that would make it quite difficult for them, quite challenging. A family circle or a circle of friends, a group of people, it could be work colleagues, but there is definitely something around the stone that would be a tough call to move away from. It would feel like I think it would feel like they were letting down many, actually, whereas the village does have the opportunity to be more flexible. Okay, so feels like it, yeah, which way do you go? I feel like there is a kind of a decision hanging over you. Maybe it is about commitment or how you join forces. How would you come together? How would you make this real? Let's get some more cards here. Okay. Okay, so we have the Four of Fire. Wow, we have the Hero. We have the Queen of Earth. We have Thought. Okay, what I'm seeing is in this connection that there is, I think this is a sort of a point of, there's a turning point around you, around taking something forwards. It's like wanting to make it real. Wanting to make it real and trying to work out how you do it. How do you join forces? How do you bring your worlds together? And I think part of the essence of what's going on at the moment, I think the passion is there. I think there's a desire to make this happen on both sides. There's quite a pure connection between you. That's what I'm seeing here. Very pure, very kind, very gentle. I do think there are maybe children involved for some of you. That won't be true for all, but if this is a coming together relationship, there could be children involved. It requires thought. You're going to have to think through how to navigate this. Again, maybe for those of you, if there are children involved, it's about how to navigate this in a way that would be very thoughtful around those circumstances. I'm seeing a lot of passion, a lot of desire, and what I'm also seeing is it is absolutely possible to find a solution here with the card of Thought. What you've kind of got to do is, because there is a coming together at this point, it's like this gigantic cauldron, this melting pot of two people coming together, pooling your resources. That may also be quite a big decision for some of you if you're thinking of almost like selling up selling up your sort of world in order to be with someone else, which means you take your investment that's currently your own and you plant it somewhere else. You invest in somebody else's circle. That's a biggie, because that's theirs already. And it, you know, I think so there's a little bit of, gosh, how does this work? How do we make this happen? But there is a solution to be had. There's definitely, this is the energy around this reading. If this is not resonating, it may not be the right reading for you, because there's a lot of desire, a lot of, I think on both parts. You want to make this real. You want to step up. You want to make it real. You want to manifest this relationship. That's really coming through clearly. Let's draw some runes. Rune for the village. Okay, Kano, the rune of openings, and gateway. How interesting. Okay, so the village is really considering this, because I just feel like the village is the one that's having to let go of more to make this possible. Okay, then we have the stone, has Gibo, the rune of partnership, and Fehu, nourishment, possessions, ambition satisfied. Okay. I think the village can make a lot of things possible for the stone. Perhaps the stone has had some really big ambitions around the shape of his or her life, you know, non-gender specific here. And in many ways, the village can make a really significant contribution to making this real. I think the stone really wants this. I'm not saying that the village doesn't, but I think the village has more to lose almost in taking this sort of risk, stepping out of their comfort zone. But there is passion between you, and there is a desire to build a future. The village is wanting to think about how to do this, though, in a more thoughtful way, rather than just jump in. But I do see with Kano, the rune of openings, that this will emerge. This is the flavour of the energy around you, or around this connection. Let's draw some more cards and see how this might evolve over the coming month. Okay, we have 4 cards popping out there. Let's look at them. Okay, so we have the Architect. It's come out in reverse. Okay, we have the King of Scrolls. Okay, take your time. Okay, I don't generally read cards in reverse, but I do the Akashic Tarot. Take your time. This is a grand design, okay? This is a grand design, so take your time. You don't have to rush at this with Gateway as well. Take your time working out the best course of action, or how to do it in a way that is going to be appropriate. And I'd sort of say, you know, with the village, that it would be appropriate for the village to maybe make sure that you know, legally they're protected if you're going to sell something up and move to somewhere else, to make sure that all parties are going to be okay in the future. It's not just a big sort of massive investment and then, you know, you come out not on top at a later date. But it is interesting. What we have here is we have the One of Scrolls on track, which would suggest that you're kind of ready to go. And then we have the Sands of Time, which says timing is of the essence, which is really interesting. I wonder if there's actually been an opportunity, which is why there's perhaps a little bit of pressure around the village to make a quick decision, but it feels like it's a risk. This is suggesting that you need to make sure that you cross the T's and dot the I's. Make sure that the plan is practical before leaping into it. But I do think, we're asking about the next month, I do think choices, decisions can be made within the next month. Maybe there is a buying in together for some of you, or a move. I'm seeing this happen here. On track suggests that you do take something forwards, whether you are the village or the stone. In many ways, both parties take something forwards, because there's a commitment here. There's a desire to make this real, to make it happen. I think your reading it's got a lovely honesty about it. I mean, this is someone you really, these two people resonate together. There's a deep-seated passion, and it's very real. It's very solid. There's a long-term desire to build something here. On both parties, the passion is here, the desire is here. There's a wanting to move this forwards. Really, all that you're reading in a very pure way is suggesting is that you think carefully about the details. It's almost like how if you have an insurance policy, you'll never need it. You know, it's almost like that. So it's just worth thinking about the details before you move ahead. But I'm seeing this as being a really lovely opportunity here, actually. I really, really do. Yeah, Ceres, nurture. I think this can grow. This is a connection and that can absolutely grow. It can transition into what you desire, really, or what both parties desire. But clear communication is what's needed here in terms of moving forwards and making sure you're both really clear about how you want this to be. Chiron, healing. If you have separated, if you've been in a relationship and you parted company, and this is like a move to come back together, for some of you that is potentially here. If you've been apart for some while, you know, you separated and now there's a coming back together, but the village feels like it's more of a risk to come back to the stone. But actually this can be healed. This feels really lovely. This is definitely a moving something forwards. And your reading is very clear. It's all about this month negotiating and navigating this transition, this moving forwards to the next level, making that commitment and making it real. Helping it to manifest, but doing so in a thoughtful way with clear communication about what you will accept and what you won't accept and how this can be. It's literally kind of like putting your cards on the table, as metaphorically, excuse the pun, but you know, that's what we're seeing here. Take it forwards, but be very, very clear about how you're prepared to let this manifest, what's going to work for you. Let's check out, just from a love perspective, what you might want to say to each other really here. So what does the village want to say to the stone? I feel you so strongly. I can taste your essence. You are the song of my heart. I feel so much joy with you. It's like I'm a kid again. Yeah, do you know, I said children are involved. It may even be that this person has tapped into your inner child. You can relax and feel like a child. What does the stone want to say to the village? I miss your sunshine in my life so much. Yeah, so if you have parted company, the stone is really, really wanting this to move forwards and to get onto solid ground again. Or indeed, if you're long distance, I mean, you know, they just want this to move forwards. What else does the stone want to say to? Okay, give me more time. I'm not good enough for you yet. Oh, wow. Let's get some clarity. You are my muse. Okay. So there is a little bit of a wobble still there, but I think the stone, what I'm feeling here is the stone has a little bit of a wobble here. Interesting enough, I saw the villagers taking a greater risk, which I think feels real in terms of actual circumstances. And actually the stone is sort of actually very conscious of this and a little bit anxious that if there's been a parting that they will be able to get it right. It's really interesting. It isn't just the anxiety around or how big a deal it is for the village to sort of move over and be with the stone, you know, in a very physical way, but actually the stone is also anxious about whether they can make it right. It's like if you're going to move in together, for example, for the first time, and you know, the village moving into the stones, you know, home property rather than the other way around. And the stone does have some concerns about being good enough, wanting to really make this work. Really interesting. There is an energy around of that. And yet, but I think there's a purity of energy here. It's lovely. It's like, I really want this to happen. You know, gosh, I hope I can really make this work. Will I be good enough? Will you love, you're giving stuff up. You're taking a risk to be with me, or taking a risk to come back to me. Will this be okay? Can I make it right? So whether you are the stone or the village, you know, these are really clear messages. There is a real desire here, and I think this can build a really solid foundation. Timing does actually feel right, really, at this moment. It really, I'd say at this moment in time, it does feel right for you with the sands of time. It is a perfect moment to be coming together and moving forwards. You know, whatever has motivated that into it happening. This is actually lovely. It's really, really lovely. Let's just draw a couple more cards from another tarot pack just to see how this might evolve. Just have a sneaky peek into the future. Okay, Seven of Swords, Princess of Swords, and Four of Cups. Okay, yeah. I think that your worries, you know, on both sides are going to be unfounded here. You know, any concern that there is around, you know, you kind of know what you want, but any underlying concerns about, gosh, I'm taking a big risk. Gosh, will I be able to make this good enough so that the village feels happy here, or whatever that is. I think you're going to get to a point where it really does come together with the card of the Four of Cups with luxury. I think you will, the actual coming together will kind of banish those fears and doubts. I think once you actually get there, you'll just know it's right. You know, one of those times when you just know this is right, we've made the right decision. You sort of don't know in the build up to it. You're always in that sort of what if scenario place. But I think once you get there, it's going to be just fine. I feel that's what we're being shown here really clearly. So pile one, keep us posted. It looks as if a decision will be made, but yeah, just think about the details as you go. But it looks as though you are going to be in a really good place with this, actually. So I am wishing you every blessing, you know, whatever this is, whether it is largely, for most of you, it will be a love connection, but it could be a working alliance or a friendship or some other platonic connection. Or even a family connection, moving in with family. But however we look at it, this has a favourable outcome. Pile one, tons of love. Thank you for being here, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and all the things that support the channel and help me to continue to put free stuff into the world. Thank you so much, all of you who have joined the membership area of YouTube, and all of you who are a member on Patreon as well. That's where I post my all zodiac sign readings. Beautiful souls, it's a joy to read for you. Thank you so much for being here today. Tons of love. I post readings, if you're new to the channel, on Sunday. I post readings where we get immediate guidance and we look at the week ahead, and then I post a couple of other readings like these, or some that are tuned in with the astrological energy, all kinds of stuff in the week, usually on a Tuesday and a Friday, big readings, and then smaller shorts in between. Lots of my readings are timeless, so you can always go to the Moon Magic homepage and check out what readings are there, answering specific questions if you're needing additional guidance. So beautiful souls, tons and tons of love. Have an amazing month. This looks like a really significant time of upgrading. So in a relationship, so it's fabulous. Absolutely loving this sort of shift to a different level of connection. Tons of love, pile one. Hey, pile two, welcome to your reading. So you have rose quartz and 16, the card number 16, grandmother ensures safe crossing. Now, I'm going to be drawing two cards just for the two people involved. If this is somebody you're not actually with, for some of you, if there's something here about, you know, a journey unfolding, you're not yet there. So it could be, for some of you, this is like a crush or something that you're wanting to happen, or a connection with someone you're wanting, or it could be the renewal of something. Let's Let's draw cards and see what we are shown for the two people. This will help to know whether this is the right reading for you. So person one, we have the riddle. Okay, that's not feeling right. Far too many cards. Person two. There we go. The empty room. Okay. Yeah. There's almost like a sort of a bemused kind of, why hasn't this happened yet? Kind of energy around you. But you're on a journey. You're on the way. Why isn't something either emerging, or why isn't someone maybe responding? Some of you could have started something and maybe somebody's just suddenly kind of, you've drawn a bit of a blank, or you feel like it's not actually happening. Okay, so I feel like the riddle is somewhat bemused as to why something hasn't moved forwards. The empty room is a very different energy around this person. This person may still be sort of quite enjoying solitude. I need more information actually, I think, for these two people. Or indeed it may be exactly what I said right at the start. If you're actually watching these relationship readings and you're single actually, or you're looking at this for a crush but you're not really sure about them, I mean, the empty room could be what's going to be coming in. You're on a journey, you're on a quest, you're on a mission to find someone. So you may be bemused as to why you haven't manifested a relationship yet, for example. It may be that there is one yet to come. Grandmother ensures safe crossing sort of tells us that we're going to get we're going to get the thing that we want. We're going to get there, but there may be a journey to go on first. Let's just check out this. So we have the corn for the riddle. What do we have for the empty room? We have the owl. Okay. Yeah, I feel that. Okay, so if this is a crush or someone, you know, an actual someone on your mind at the moment, or indeed if you are, some of you could be single and wondering when this is happening, but I feel like something hasn't happened yet. So with the empty room, this person, I think the corn is ready. You know, the riddle is absolutely ready for. So this could be you, or it could be the person that you are checking in with. The riddle is ready for a connection, a relationship. They want to move this forwards, whether this is a working alliance, it could be that too, but most of you will be here for love, I would imagine. But actually the empty room isn't ready yet. The empty room is not, they're still wanting to see more, to discover more, to find out more. If you are the empty room, you might find that the corn and the riddle is an energy of someone who is really quite confused as to why you don't want the same thing, why you haven't moved forwards, why you aren't more available. If you are the riddle, then you're wondering, why isn't the empty room ready and available? Yeah, the empty room wants to know more, wants to take their time, wants to see more before making any kind of commitment here. I think the empty room wants this to move forwards very slowly, little by little, but the riddle is absolutely there. I'm ready for this, I want it now. Why isn't it happening? That's the kind of energy here. Okay, let's draw more cards. We have the Maiden. We have the King of Earth. Okay. We have Heaven and Earth. And we have the Self. Okay. I'm going to draw some runes actually before I dive into these cards and the story here. Runes for the riddle. We have the rune of journey. How interesting. There's lots of journeying here. We have, because this card is about journeying as well, a journey, a quest, a mission. Maiden, look at this pathway here. We have the rune of protection as well. So we've got, yeah, Algiz, the rune of protection. And we have the rune of Manas. Sorry, not Manas, that's the self. We have the rune of Uras. This is the rune of strength. And we have the rune of the self, Manas, sitting here with the self. Okay. Right. Now, whether you are the riddle or you are the empty room is not sure about this connection yet. It's not that it's not right, but I think the empty room is processing some stuff. They are delving inwards. They're on a journey of self-discovery, of evolution. Very much a spiritual journey. Now the riddle is ready to move something forwards. I'm quite emotionally driven. The riddle wants to make this happen. It's like, come on, why aren't we getting it together? Why isn't it working? Why aren't you ready? And you know, the empty room is saying, well, look, actually, you know, I'm kind of working on myself at the moment here. And I sort of feel like I have to work on myself before I'm ready. The riddle is ready. The riddle wants to set forth on this journey. The riddle is ready for fertility, for harvest, to make it all happen. Very interesting. There's no question of this. The riddle is absolutely ready for what they want. If you are the riddle, my question is, do you want to wait for the empty room? Because the empty room isn't really quite available yet. They're doing a lot of soul searching. They're working on themselves in a big way. Now this makes them a very interesting person. This makes them, you know, I'm seeing some wisdom here. Indeed, it may be that the empty room is saying, look, we need to take this slowly. Let's be very wise about this. Let's just see how we get on together. Let's just see whether we can really fit and whether this is going to work. Let's take it slowly, one step at a time. But the riddle wants to make it happen now. So you could be the empty room. And if you are, you're kind of saying, well, look, I want to see more. I want to discover more. I'm on my own pathway. I very much want to be me. I don't want to lose myself in a relationship. You've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. So I want to make sure that I am really on solid ground here, because the corn is wanting it now. And so the empty room may be feeling a bit pressured by that. There's a lot of wisdom here actually in the empty room. A lot of soul searching, a lot of deep connections of, let's just let this organically grow. We need to get to see one another, get to know one another. And then the riddle just wants to, but why not? Why aren't we together now? Why haven't we moved it forwards? So it's a really interesting energy. Okay, how might this move and pan out during the coming month? What are we seeing here? Okay, so we've got authority. Tenth house. We've got Pallas Athena, think. And then we have sixth house, sustainability. Okay, so what we're seeing here is a need to actually think this through. If you're the riddle, there's some guidance actually here around not rushing forwards with this. You know, the empty room has a lot of wisdom actually in being steadier. If you are the empty room, holding your boundaries, thinking this through, making clear choices and decisions, because there's something about whether this wanting to build a future that is genuinely sustainable rather than just rushing into something here, you know. So there's something about that's what I'm really seeing here. Think about sustainability, think about really, yeah, this is a connection that requires thinking and a degree of authenticity. I'm seeing the mask here with Pallas Athena. Discovering one another. This needs to grow organically. it's not a mountain to climb as such, but if it grows, or it's like climbing a mountain. The best way to climb a mountain and get to the top is to go steadily, because if you run at it like you're on a marathon, you're never going to get to the top. You're going to run out of steam and it's not going to go anywhere. So this reading is suggesting that things can be, it will be a good move to slow this down and let it unfold organically. Let it emerge. Then we get more information and guidance. Okay, we have will, wisdom and the mind. This is in reverse. These are the only cards. I don't read tarot cards in reverse generally. I always feel I have the information I need, but I always do with the Akashic. We have the chess game. We have Uriel and the Sphinx and the lightning bolt. I'm seeing one more card has actually shown itself here as well in the pack, and this is Hilarion. It's come out in reverse. Okay, there's something here about not repeating patterns actually here. You know, the chess game is a card that can speak about game playing and manipulation, and the will, the wisdom and the mind is in reverse, and this is like empowerment. Remember, power is always, empowerment is power over ourselves, it's not power over others. Uriel and the Sphinx, lightning bolt and Hilarion. Yeah, there's learning to be found here. I kind of really, I'm coming back to don't rush into this, actually. To let it emerge, let it unfold in its own time. Think about it, discover whether this is something that's really going to be what you think it's going to be, you know, or will it sort of be full of empty promises or full of games? You know, I'm not suggesting either the empty room or the riddle or that, but that's the messages are coming through. Yeah, it's really important that this is sustainable, and the only way you're going to find that out is to let it emerge slowly but surely and discover and see how it really is, actually, and not repeat patterns. Some of you may have been in relationships or connections before where there's been game playing or manipulation or power strategies in relationship where someone is, you know, more dominant, one person's more dominant, more demanding. And this is saying, look, you don't have to let this happen again. The key to this current connection is to let it unfold gradually. Let's find out, what would the riddle want to say to the empty room? We have, I have tried telling you the truth so many times, but I just cannot for some reason. Okay, I live for your smile and would die for your kiss. You are the song of my heart. You are my everything. So the riddle is very smitten, but actually hasn't owned their feelings in an open way yet. They haven't been able to say to the empty room how they're really feeling. What is the empty room saying to the riddle? You are healing my soul, but it is a work in progress. You are the answer to my whole life. I worship your perfection. So there's real strength of feeling here. There is real strength of feeling here, but I see the empty room wanting to take it slowly, wanting to discover if this is really real, not wanting to rush. And perhaps again they've been hurt really, really badly. Yeah, I'm taking my time. We have all the time in the world. I think that the empty room has had some bad experiences. And if that is you, I'm so sorry if that is you. Game players, power dynamics. What I feel here is one party, the riddle, is wanting to move it forwards quickly, the other isn't. It's not that they don't want to move it forwards, they do want to do this. They want it to happen, but they want it to be sustainable. They want to climb the mountain slowly. They want, and for them it is like climbing a mountain, because trusting someone again is a biggie after being hurt and having a bad experience. Okay, we have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, we have the Death card, Rebirth, and the Three of Pentacles. I think this is a connection that can work. I think we're being shown that this is a connection that can work. And for the month ahead, even probably longer than the month ahead, it's about taking your time, letting it organically unfold, letting it sort of birth naturally into what it can be, to bring in a harvest, to get to know one another, to see one another for who you really are, to share those challenges that you have both at different times experienced. And I do see the empty room as having far more wobbles inside than the riddle. But I think this is a relationship that can work with the Three of Pentacles. This could be really good teamwork. You know, it can emerge, it can happen, but it needs to happen. You can't force a birth. If you are giving birth to a child, you know, sometimes you have to breathe, sometimes you have to push. But, you know, actually this is sort of a time to breathe rather than push, and let it just emerge and grow. There's great potential here. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. You know, this can really work. This relationship can definitely work, but it needs to grow organically and be allowed to unfold in its own time. Very clear messages actually for this reading, pile 2. There really are. It's a lovely, lovely energy around you. Beautiful souls, this is your reading. I'm not going to draw any more cards. Thank you so much for joining me. So this is the sort of monthly relationship reading that I'm doing now. There are other connections to other readings that connect to relationships through the month. I post every Sunday a reading for immediate guidance, and we look at the next 7 days, and on Tuesdays and Fridays I post readings that are sometimes about, you know, astrological energy, sometimes about relationships, or can you trust this person, or all sorts of, just all kinds of readings. So do check them out. I usually post on a Tuesday or Friday, and that weekly reading on Sundays. Thank you so much all of you for being here. It really, really does, you know, your presence, looking at the readings, liking, sharing, subscribing really helps to support the channel and helps me to put free stuff into the world. You know, it's a privilege to read for you. And thank you so much, all of you who have joined the membership part of YouTube now, and also Patreon, the membership on Patreon. That's where I put all my extended readings, the big all zodiac sign readings. It's a privilege to read for you, and all of your donations really do help me to put more into the world and sustain my free online library. I mean, that's, you know, it's been free forever as a resource for anyone that needs psychological or emotional assistance or help. And you know, but it costs a lot to maintain that website. So thank you, all of you, for your ongoing support and your additional contributions, and all of you who give back in the super thanks too. So beautiful souls, tons and tons of love. Yeah, just let it organically unfold. Part 2, have an amazing month. Pile 3, welcome to your reading, beautiful souls. Thank you for being here. You have the Princess of Red Poppies, the card number 11, and the Amethyst Point. Amethyst is, of course, a master healer. Now, the Princess of Red Poppies, this card is actually, you know, this is the energy sitting between you with someone. So we're going to be asking about the coming month within this connection with someone. Primarily, this is a card of letting go. So I'm not sure whether this is a reading where you are letting go of someone, or, because it's also a card of sowing seeds for the new, whether you are sowing seeds for the new and what's going to emerge is actually a new chapter or a new person. So let's get some cards and find out for you. So let me place that over there. May we please have 2 cards, please, for both my wonderful pile 3 person and also the other person in this connection. The person who is uppermost in your mind, what's happening in the month ahead. So the 2 people we have here are, we have the Vision, okay, and we also have the Unseen. Okay, I think this is much more about sowing seeds and moving to the future than it is to do with what you've had to let go of. I think whatever you've let go of, I think you've already let go of it. quite resigned. Some of you have had to resign yourselves. You've had to process something, but actually whatever you've let go of, this is about the seeds of the future. This is where you're moving to. It's the vision. It's the stuff that hasn't yet emerged. So it may be that somebody very brand new is in your world, or indeed you could be the brand new in someone else's world. Somebody else is moving on. And but the energy between you is of moving on. Maybe even both of you have moved on. Been processing the loss of a connection or a relationship, and now we sit in a space of possibility, or letting go of a chapter of your lives if this is an existing relationship, and moving to the new. You don't quite know what it's going to look like yet. So the two people, we have the vision. The vision is in a place of actually really quite clearly looking ahead, knowing what they want in the future. I feel like the vision, if this is you or indeed the other person, you've learned from the experiences of the past. You've learned from some challenging relationships or situations with people, and you're very clear about what you do really desire now. I feel like the unseen is this other person. This could be the person you're dreaming in, you're visioning in. If this is someone who's real in your life already, I feel like you don't really know them that well. So it could be that this is a new chapter of a relationship. If it is a feeling of whatever went between you. They've turned over a whole new leaf, and you really don't know whether they can deliver or not, or whether they will be what you are hoping for as a vision. But largely, I think for most of you, I think this is someone new. You don't know them yet very well at all. Okay, but let's draw more cards. May we have a card for the vision, more clarity about the vision. Taming the wind. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful energy. Okay, you're manifesting. If you are the vision, you are manifesting. The vision is manifesting in the relationship that they really want, and they're learning to manifest, and they're learning that they can manifest. Okay, the person who is the unseen has coyote energy around them. They've had issues of trust. This person, if you are the unseen, I think you've had issues of trust, of loyalty, where you haven't felt seen. People have not been genuine. If you are moving on, the unseen person, both parties, I feel, are heading into the new here. That is absolutely for sure. Move my cards over and get another pack. That is really for sure. But I think what we're seeing here is that, yeah, the vision is in a place of manifestation, manifesting what they want. The coyote energy with the unseen, you may have literally been ghosted in a former relationship if you are the unseen in these cards. And somebody that's at a new beginning with you you may actually also be still seeking someone new. But if this is someone you've seen, I think they know what they want. Yeah, I think you've been ghosted. There's been a disloyalty that caused you to be on your own or caused you to move away. Yeah. There's definitely more trust issues going on with the unseen due to history, really. The vision is far more confident as a person than the unseen. The unseen is really a lot more, kind of fragile, sort of testing the waters here. Let's see what we have here. We have the crone. We have the Queen of Air, we have body and mind, and we have, okay, right. I have a really clear message coming through here, vision, if you are vision. Now, this is a general reading, so the messages that come through will be right for some of you, but not. You'll need to discard the ones that are for someone else. There is a really clear message here around trust. Okay. if you are the vision, I think there could be someone around you who you're not actually seeing entirely truthfully here. Someone who is not entirely upfront. There are things that you don't see about them, actually. And you are needing to be quite, to really, we have a crow here. The crone is very wise, a very wise energy. She's also very intuitive. You may need to really quite logically, look at the owls here and the owl here. You may need to really quite logically approach this person. This is a message for some, but not all. Really quite logically approach someone around you who may not be actually showing all their cards. You know, what you see is not necessarily what you get. So that is one message coming through, that you are being advised, some of you, to be very thoughtful and to really make sure you are seeing someone clearly before you proceed. Okay, and be quite logical about what you're seeing, because there are signs around you that may be suggesting that, you know, someone isn't entirely who they claim to be. So that is a message. Now, if you have identified yourself as being the unseen part of this, you're also being asked to make sure that you get very clear and see very clearly what is the vision wanting, because this person's very clear about what they want. Make sure that you can have that conversation where you know, watch the signs, see the signs. Make sure that your vision is going to be the same as the vision of this person. Because I think if you are identifying as the unseen, you have been in connections where people have pulled the wool over your eyes, or you didn't read the signs. You just weren't in a zone where you could see them clearly. But now you have wisdom. Now you have the ability to see more clearly. So if you are the unseen, this is a time to make sure, if you are starting something afresh here, that the vision is that when you meet, or if you're hanging out with the vision and thinking about proceeding, that this is someone who, what they want is genuinely the same as you. There's definitely a need to see more here, however we look at this. Okay, runes for the vision. We have flow and we have fertility. And for the unseen, we have Othilla. This is the rune of separation, actually, and we have constraint. Okay. This does actually feel, blessed souls, as if there is a connection that actually possibly needs to be let go of. Perhaps the vision of the future isn't really shared, or someone isn't really going to be quite who they say they're going to be. And this, whether you have identified yourself as the vision or the unseen, I do feel there is something here in this connection between you that feels as though actually it may not be ideal. Now, if this is a love interest, then I'm sorry if this is something that you have been hoping for. If it is a platonic person or a work colleague, you probably already know that this is someone who is, has a grand vision but is perhaps quite self-orientated, or they are someone who's a bit of a game player. They're not showing up, not really being authentic. There's something that's not quite right here in this connection. Let's look at and get a bit more information, particularly, and we'll look at the week ahead as well, or the month ahead. My apologies, this is a monthly reading. Okay, solar flares activate. We have Leo shine. Lovely. Wonderful. Mid-heaven pinnacle. So what I'm seeing is something is sort of coming to a head. I think you're beginning to realize with this connection that, gosh, so many messages coming through. You're beginning to realize with this connection that somehow you're not really seen enough, or you know, there's something, I think you're already realizing this is not quite right. Now, actually, I think in the month ahead there will be opportunity for you to sort of to step up. If you are the unseen, to be seen. If you are the vision, to see that the other person isn't in alignment with your vision. You know, however we look at it, whichever way, whichever position you're sitting in, I think something will come to a head, and there will be opportunity for you to really, really shine, to step up. And it will sort of, there's something about the energy of something not right that it would hold you back. There's something in this connection that would hold you back. And I think you are probably aware of it. Let's check in. Okay, so we have the One of Scrolls on track. So how are we doing? This is for the energy of the month, how this pans out. On track. One of Roses, Commitment, which is in reverse, and the King of Roses. How interesting. Ah, okay. Right. I think for some of you, I feel like there's so many messages coming through here. For some of you, I feel you genuinely are both in a place of both letting go and moving on simultaneously, as we often are. When we meet someone new, we are in a position where we are juggling. I don't know how you are feeling about this, beautiful souls, but I almost feel that you probably could sit in, many of you could sit in both camps, actually, in both, you know, you've experienced scenarios. I think sort of the messages that are coming through are telling us, now what we're seeing here is you are actually on track. You are in a place where you're moving forwards. You're in a place of flow and of fertility where you can let go of the restrictions of the past. This is almost, rather than being a reading like pile 1 and pile 2, we had a lot of conversation between two people. I almost feel that you could sit in both positions. This is actually almost like a reading just to you. And you're moving forwards and it's right. Something has ended, or something is ending. I'm also being shown that it's purposeful that it's ending. So you could be letting go of someone. It's come to a head. Solar flares activate, pinnacle, midheaven. Things are shifting and turning. And this is a transitionary card. I think whatever is departing, or whoever is departing because it's completely right. And it frees you up for something to then come in that will be magnificent. I mean, the King of Roses is, you know, this is the card of love. It's the card of long-lasting, wonderful love, the fabulous connection, the fabulous relationship. So if this is about love, that's fab. And if it's about a work connection, then somebody better is coming, or a friend or a colleague. This is a commitment is coming to an end. You can move forwards. You can move forwards freely. You can finally be seen. You can step up. You can shine. You can be you. You can let go of something or someone, whoever that was, and you can now become visible, become open, seek the loyal, the long-term relationship that you desire. No more having to hide. Also, for some of you, if you have been, if you're in a connection, lots of messages, as I said, coming through. If you've been in a connection where you weren't able to be visible for some reason, you know, you've kept it quiet, perhaps for fear of what other people would think. You're in a new connection, you know, sometimes perhaps if you had lost someone, you know, through a bereavement, and you've met someone new and you were worried about what family would think or friends, and you've kept it quiet. It's now time for it to be visible. This transition is happening. It can come out into the open. Yeah, any kind of relationship that you're connected to where you haven't felt you can be open about it, I think that now shifts. That's what we're being shown this month. Wow. So it's a general reading, so many different scenarios are coming through. But I think for you, as the receiver of this reading, pile 3, if this is resonating, this is a time when what you actually desire can start to now form. What you really want, out in the open. All of you, I think, have let go of one scenario, one situation, one experience, or are in the process of letting go and embracing something new. And it's right that you're embracing something new. The timing is perfect for you to embrace something new. Okay. Now in the other readings, I've really looked at messages from your person, but it's interesting in a way. I feel this reading is really a validation of bringing something out for you, of this transition and of it being a successful transition. So let's really just take a sneaky peek and to look at the future. We have the Five of Swords. Yeah, you're leaving disappointment behind. Change, Two of Pentacles. This is the change, the transformation that you desire. You are in this space of transformation. Yeah, Ten of Swords. Something has completed, a period has completed, whether it's a period of solitude, a period of grieving, a period where a commitment was broken by somebody and it's come to an end and you can now move forwards. Whether you have been keeping something secret, that secretness is coming to an end. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. You can kind of bring in the harvest now, literally. The period of waiting is over. That's what I want to say to you, pile 3. The universe, the Hanged Man. Yeah, the period of waiting is over. Yes, the period of waiting is over. It is now time to transform, to have your vision, to be seen, to know you can have what you desire. This feels much more like a general relationship reading now than an actual person, although some of you will be in a connection with somebody else, a new connection. You'll also be exiting or finally laying to rest a connection. We'll draw some message cards. So for those of you who are in a new connection, for those of you who are starting to move towards, shift towards, to activate, you're in a space of activating a new relationship, we will get messages from your new person. For those of you for whom this is right, this is a general reading, so the messages will apply to some but not all. But this is from your new person. I worship your perfection and I'm terrified of you. Lovely. Yeah, this person is actually ready to be, they want to come forward and be seen. At the same time, they're so overwhelmed by you and by your amazingness. And they're very conscious, I think, of where you've come from, that you've come from some challenges and they want, and maybe they have too. They're really, really thoughtful about this. Yeah, am I good enough for you? Yeah, there's a real sort of, will I ever be good enough for you? It's kind of got that absolute flavour. What else would they like to say to you, this new person? You are a diamond of immense strength and beauty. Yeah, I think they really see how much you've been through, actually. Really, really see how much you've been through. Because I do feel you've had, you know, some of you have been totally ghosted. Some of you have had game players in your world. Some of you may have actually lost someone. There's been real challenges for you historically. I have sleepless nights caught between confusion and pain. I think your new person has been very concerned about how to take this forward in a way that would be supportive of you, given everything you've been through. You are my everything. I can never say it, but I do love you. I miss your sunshine in my life so much. Yeah, this person is really, really, for those of you that have a new person around you, they really, really do feel very, very strongly for you, but they are also very anxious about whether they can be right. It's quite interesting if you had identified as being the vision and your person is the unseen. I think, you know, they are fearful that they won't be able to live up to your vision. If you are the unseen and the vision is your person, remarkably, I think the vision really does see you in an amazing way, but is anxious that, yeah, they can sort of live up to expectations. Yeah, let's just draw a few more cards to see what is the future of a new connection, whether this is for pile 3 who have met someone, seeing where a new connection is going. There's definitely the letting go of an old throughout this reading. And of course, when you meet someone new, it reminds you of the letting go of the old. But let's look at the future of the new connection. Two of Swords. I think you'll actually be able to find peace and make a commitment. We have a card of peace. Wow, Two of Swords and Two of Wands. How beautiful. I think this is a connection where you will be able to make a commitment, find peace within yourself, regardless of the history that you've come from. Finally sort of overcome the anxieties and the insecurities that history has left you with. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, you'll literally be able to work through the previous loss with this person. Yeah. Eight of Swords. Yeah, I want to sort of say you're not a puppet on a string anymore. Yeah, I think you have felt that life has delivered. Life has, within relationships, I think for you has been challenging. I think this is somebody who you can actually work through these things with, actually. Yeah, absolutely. We have the card of Valor. And we have the Empress, yeah. You can nurture a new world with this person. You can build a new world with this person. So for those of you that are in a new connection already, this can shift and change. Everything in this reading is about both simultaneously letting go and embracing the new. The new is looking favorable, positive. You can do this. And I think the past has needed to be let go of. Well, this has been a fascinating reading. I don't think I have any more cards for you. It's felt for me as a reader a little bit higgledy-piggledy just because so many different messages have been coming through. The one common ground, I think, for if this reading is resonating with you is that you're having to let go of the past and history of some sort and really begin to vision in and build the future you desire. I think you've been through some big stuff relationship-wise, but what we are seeing is either the simultaneously the letting go of the old and the emergence of the new, and a very, very, very healing space of possibility now around you for relationships. And this is, you know, in the coming month happening, so that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. My lovely pile 3, thank you so much for joining me for the readings today. If this is resonating with you, I hope this has been helpful for you, given the nature of the energy of transition that's going on here. Pile 3, tons of love. Thank you so much for being here, you know, for liking, sharing, subscribing. All of these things really do help to support the channel, to help me to put free stuff into the world, to continue to do things. Thank you those of you who are part of the membership side of YouTube now, and also members on Patreon. Your donations really do help me to support my free online library as well, which is, you know, an emotional and psychological sort of resource for people. You know, your donations, your extra contributions, and all of you who give back through the super thanks, you are actually helping a lot of people in what you're doing, so thank you. And just thank you all for being here. Pile 3, tons of love. I do post readings every Sunday. If you're new to my channel, on Sundays I post them for weekly guidance, immediate messages in the here and now, and we look at the week ahead, and then a couple of other readings, usually on a Tuesday and a Friday, just to ask other questions such as this reading, and looking at different topics and different subject matter. And so do check in with the homepage if you want to make sure you see the readings whenever they arrive, or if you subscribe, press the little bell icon, and hopefully YouTube will send them to you. Beautiful souls, tons and tons of love to you. Have an amazing month. This is a significant turning point for you.